In a free society such as ours, the police have to use force. Somebody has to step up and take on the bullies of this world. But we're going to use it intelligently, and we're not going to cross the line. We're going to focus on the bad guys every day. We're going after them. We're going to put them in jail, but not at the expense of our relationship with the people in the community who are law-abiding, good folks. They don't need to fear us. The criminals, they need to fear us. They need to fear being arrested and being held accountable. You know, after the Freedom Riders arrived here May 20th, 1961, they were attacked. Some of them had to go to the hospital. That night, they had a meeting at First Baptist Church. Right across the street from where we're sitting right now, an angry mob showed up outside that church and started breaking windows, cutting the phone lines, throwing fire bombs, and the people inside the church were utterly terrified. I said, well, Congressman Lewis, when you arrived here in 1961, you were doing the right thing, practicing your lawful right to ride interstate transportation. Congressman Lewis was obeying the law, but the police department that day was not. We were not there to protect you and the other Freedom Riders from harm, and for that I'm truly sorry. And when I said those words, he stood up and walked up to me and hugged me. And then as he turned, I leaned over and whispered, if you'll just stay up here, there's something I want to give you.
And I want you to know that you have friends in the Montgomery Police Department, that we're for you, we're with you. We want to respect the law and adhere to the law, which is what you were trying to do all along. This symbol of authority, which used to be a symbol of oppression, used to be a symbol of reconciliation.
My experience, having lived in this city for 27 years, working for the police department, being in a leadership position in this organization for 17 of those 27 years, we would come up against a wall of mistrust between the community that we served in the police department. And what I came to realize was this: the residents, the citizens of this city had been through so much at the hands of the police department, where we at one time enforced unjust laws. In order to get onto a path where we're going to work together, there has to be some reconciliation. We have to have the help of the community. If you try to enforce the law in isolation, well, just the police department's going to do this, the citizens don't need to bother, you're going to fail. You have to have community support, and that was the bridge that I was trying to cross. The only person that knew prior to me doing it was Chief Brown, about 5 minutes before we walked into the church.
There wasn't a whole lot of thinking going on. It was really, now how am I going to sit up here and wipe these tears? And I'm a police officer, and I'm supposed to represent strength, but it was so emotional to see that, you know, Representative Lewis he was emotional too. This organization that I love and that I've donated, 25 years of my life to, was a part of that segregation, was a part of that oppression. To see it put in a different light, I became overwhelmed with emotion. I really did. So I was, and
what did you say to him when he came back to you?
I couldn't say nothing because I thought I was going to cry even more. So I waited till it was all over with, and I told him he had done an excellent job. It was.
Intend to dramatize the power of love, peace, and nonviolence, and move us toward reconciliation. And that's what the movement was all about. Yes. I'm very, very grateful, and I accepted the apology and accepted this badge on behalf of so many people.
The healing continues.
The healing continues, and that's what the movement was all about. To heal, to become one.
Exactly. You change this city, you change this state, you change this country, and as Pastor Moore said, you've changed the world, and for that we are truly grateful to you.
I've received emails from all over the world, from every continent, heartfelt, personal stories from people who experienced things during the Civil Rights Movement. Now, I've probably received several hundred emails and I've answered every one of them. I've stayed up late at night, and I've answered every single one of them myself. Some of them were very personal, and they took time to share with me an experience that they had during the Civil Rights Movement. A woman who was inside the church on that night when the crowd, the angry mob, surrounded the church, and she described how scared she was, and she thought she was going to die, and she thanked me. And I've told everybody this. We need to thank Congressman Lewis. We need to thank all the Freedom Riders. We need to thank everybody that was involved in the Civil Rights Movement that fought. You know, I'm not the hero here, they are. I was acknowledging that fact.